We all have goals, whether at work, in our own business, or for our side hustles. But sometimes it feels like these goals take a back seat when we have to navigate all the necessities of life. Our to-do lists are getting longer and our dreams feel further away. How can we become more productive and use our time more efficiently so that we can reach our goals and get shit done? Hi, I'm Tash from The Loving Lifestyle, a channel dedicated to helping you live your best life. Today, we're gonna get productive. I've got 7 great tips to help you become a more productive boss babe so that you can reach your goals. But before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell below so you never miss my content. First things first, declutter your space. Even the messiest person can't work productively in a cluttered environment. Before you start trying to crack on with some work, make sure that your desk is clear and organized, and keep up that organization. I tidy my desk every day when I finish working so that it's already clear and ready to start the next day. And then I do a deeper clear up on my Sunday reset. A clear space is a clear head. It's also important to keep our digital spaces clear. If you haven't uninstalled some apps, organized your desktop, and deleted your downloads folder in a while, take this as your cue to go do that. Most of us work on computers nowadays, so it's just as important to keep our digital spaces clear. And finally, you can't work efficiently with a cluttered mind. Meditation and mindfulness can help you see more clearly and organize your priorities more effectively. And don't forget to write things down, everything. Write your hopes, your dreams, your ideas, your distractions, the things you can't forget, how you're feeling, why that person pissed you off. Write it all down and regularly. Getting things out of our mind and onto paper is super beneficial for our mental health. It can help us cleanse our busy minds and allow us to focus better on what's in front of us, rather than spending that time obsessing over something that happened last week or worrying about what's coming next. To be a productive boss babe, you have to have clarity in your physical, digital, and mental spaces. Point 2 is remove your phone. Listen, I know we all have crazy attachments to our phones, and the crazy neurotic in us tells us that if our phone isn't on loud and by our sides, something terrible might happen and we won't know about it. But that's just our minds playing tricks on us. Our phones are an addiction and a sickness. It's one we all have and one that we can cure by taking some time away, giving ourselves a little pep talk, and maybe compromising with ourselves a little as well. My recipe for phone detachment success is to have my phone on Do Not Disturb so it doesn't vibrate or make any noise when I'm working, and leaving my phone on the other side of the room or just outside my door. But I compromise with myself and I have my family and partner as emergency bypass contact, meaning that even when my phone is on Do Not Disturb or silent, any phone calls or texts from them still make a noise and vibrate. You can change it to just calls rather than calls and text if you prefer. I just like having it on calls and texts because I want to be reachable if someone has a question or needs a semi-immediate response. So I do both. But it means that everything else doesn't give me any kind of notifications at all. So there are no pointless distractions. In order to be productive, this is a non-negotiable action. We don't need to be accessible to everyone 24/7. Put it on Do Not Disturb. Now, getting down to business. Point 3 is focusing on the most important task. Instead of just trying to tick off as many things as we can from our to-do list, focus on the most important task first. And this most important task should be in relation to your goals. Unfortunately, we all have things that we have to attend to that are urgent, but those urgent things don't usually sit on a to-do list. I'm talking feed the dog, put out a fire, remove a splinter. But after those tasks are complete, we have a choice of what we do with our time. Smaller, less important tasks are less overwhelming, so we lull ourselves into a false sense of productivity by getting those little jobs done first. But then we run out of steam before we get to the big tasks. Sure, it's more things crossed off the list, but that big goal sits on your list for months and months with no progress being made. When you start to prioritize the most important task in line with your goals, you get way more of the important stuff done. It's so easy to put off succeeding at our goals by distracting ourselves with more urgent, seemingly important tasks that won't benefit us in the long term. Now, next time you write your to-do list, take a good look at that list and highlight what big task will actually create the biggest impact towards your goals, and do that thing first. So now we know what our most important task is, what's the best way to approach it? The reality is we don't all have endless amounts of energy the whole way through the day. Some people have the most energy in the morning, some people in the evening, some people in the middle of the day. Find your peak 2 hours and use that for some deep work. Deep work is just distraction-free concentration. It's basically the kind of work where we're just completely absorbed and just get shit done. Until recently, I hadn't really made deep work since high school. I procrastinated my way through my degree because I wasn't interested in what I was learning. But since I've began this self-development journey, I found myself way more absorbed in learning and writing. And this is the kind of deep work we want to encourage. Unfortunately for some of us, the secret to deep work is passion in the subject matter, which means if we're working a job that we don't love, we're going to find it harder to cultivate deep work. However, the benefit of this is we can use deep work in our side hustles in order to get more done in the small amount of time that we have to work on our passions. By time blocking in deep work according to our energy levels, we can get a heck of a lot more efficient work done in a smaller period of time because we're cutting out procrastination time. You can track your energy patterns just by keeping a small notebook for 2 weeks and noting down how you feel every hour from waking up to going to sleep. Just go about your week as normal. Don't make any changes to allow for the tracking. Just set a little reminder on your phone or your desktop every hour and rate your energy level out of 10. Depending on your job and your goals, I'm not really referring to physical energy here. This is more likely to be mental energy. Are you tired, bored, enthralled, absorbed? Are ideas flowing easily? Are you counting down the minutes? Just rate your energy with 1 being none and 10 being super productive. And if you feel like it, add a little one-line note explaining why you gave yourself that rating. At the end of 2 weeks, you'll be able to notice a productivity pattern in your energy levels and hopefully be able to see clearly where you have the most energy and therefore what your peak hours are. If you can, use these hours for deep work to maximize your productivity. Something that I find useful, especially now that I don't keep my phone on my desk during focus time, is having a pen and paper on my desk where I can jot down any ideas, thoughts, messages I need to respond to that are trying to distract me from my work. For example, my most annoying distraction or procrastination habit is ordering an online food shop when I'm supposed to be working. It gives me a false sense of security because I know I need to order food. It saves time if I order it online rather than going to the supermarket. And if I get it out of the way, I'll stop thinking about it. But in reality, it is just procrastination and it is definitely not a most important task. So instead, I keep a little notepad on my desk, and whenever I remember that I'm out of peanut butter or that I need to reply to a friend or I have a new idea for a video, I jot it down and I'll get back to it once my deep work time is over. Another method that really works for me is task batching. This means grouping similar tasks together by location or exertion or task type, meaning that you're not wasting time switching between totally different tasks. So for example, I like to batch my blogging tasks. I will research the different video topics that I'd like to do all in one go. Then I will batch read a ton of articles and write notes on what I'm learning. I also batch film and batch edit my videos as well, rather than just making one video completely from scratch to posting and then starting on the next. I did that for the first 2 months of having my blog, and that's why there's a long break in September where I didn't have anything prepared, so I had to start from scratch again. And that's when I decided to start batching my blogging tasks. You can also batch tasks by location. Reply to all your emails at once. Do all the laundry in one go. Clean the kitchen, empty the bins, and meal prep all in one time period. When you go to drop the kids off at school, go to the store, pick up that extra pet food, drop off that letter, and stop by our friends for coffee all in one trip because you're already out the house. By batching tasks according to location, you save time wasted bouncing back and forth, and you eliminate the switchover time between tasks. And finally, don't forget to reflect. When you've had a successful period of deep work or a particularly productive day, don't forget to reflect on why it went so well. We usually do know to reflect on our failures, but we also have to reflect on our successes. Analyze the circumstances that bred that productivity so that you can replicate it in the future. Becoming a productive individual is like learning a new skill, the skill of focused and efficient work. So the more you practice it, the better you'll become at it. And the more you reflect, reflect on what techniques and environments are working for you and which aren't, the quicker that improvement will be. Finally, I know that you've heard this a million times, but honestly, if you want to be a productive boss babe, get 8 hours of sleep, drink 2 liters of water, cut the sugar, eat 3 meals, step outside for 10 minutes, and move your body every single day. These tasks are simple, necessary, and accessible. Just cut the excuses. If you have 20 minutes to scroll through Instagram or Reddit on your phone, then you have 20 minutes to go for a walk, do some yoga, or crack out a Bloggerlattes workout video on YouTube. Stop buying Coca-Cola. Yes, Diet Coke too. It's poison, just stop. Have breakfast every single day. Oats are nutritious, cheap, and quick to prepare. Train your body into a healthy sleeping pattern. If you've been going to bed at 3 a.m. for the past 6 months, it's gonna take more than one night to retrain your body. So I don't want to hear any of that "I can't fall asleep before midnight" crap. Of course you can't. You've messed up your body clock. Instead, try going to sleep 30 minutes earlier for a week. Then move it another 30 minutes earlier every couple of days until your bedtime hits 10 p.m. comfortably. It's gonna take a while, but that's what you get for messing it up to begin with. It's recovery, it takes time, but it's worth it if you want long-term success. I hope that you found this video useful and you feel motivated to channel some boss babe vibes by actioning some of the productivity advice in this video. And if you have any other ideas, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell below so you never miss my content. And then I'll see you next week or over on my Instagram at The Loving Lifestyle Blog.